Let's open the book on this. Today in Irvine, a shocking hit and run has left the community searching for answers. We're going to get you the key details fast, then dig into what it means for safety on our streets. All right, here's where we begin, in the heart of Irvine, California. I'm Leah, keeping it real and keeping it local.
And I'm Garrett, staying curious and, ready to dig in. Welcome to Laid Back Local, the news of the day with Leah and Garrett, right here in Irvine. First up, headline: tragic hit and run on Alton Parkway. Search for the driver intensifies. Okay, so here's where we start. At about 8:55 p.m. on June 10th, a man was struck and killed while using the crosswalk at Alton Parkway and Irvine Center Drive, that busy intersection just by the Irvine Spectrum. Police say the driver was heading westbound on Alton in a dark-colored vehicle and then fled the scene. The victim's identity hasn't been released, which usually means next of kin notifications are underway. The vehicle likely has front-end damage, like dents or a broken headlight from the impact. If you see a car like that parked up, that's a detail to note. It's surprising, honestly, that this happened right by the Spectrum, a very populated area with lights, foot traffic, and plenty of potential cameras, doorbell cameras, business security cams, dash cams. This is one of those moments where community video can actually solve a case. The Irvine Police Department is asking for any witnesses or anyone with footage to reach out to Detective Hank Gallegos, the lead investigator on this hit and run. Even a small detail, like the time a car sped by your block, can help build a timeline. That tiny clip could matter. A couple of key points police are still sorting out. It's not clear whether the pedestrian or the driver had the red light, so investigators will be reconstructing the scene. That's where witness statements and video line up the puzzle. Big picture, though, this brings up the ongoing concern around pedestrian safety. Crosswalks are supposed to be high-trust zones. You step in, you expect drivers to slow or stop. When that trust breaks, it shakes everyone. If you were anywhere near that intersection around 8:45 to 9:05 p.m. Tuesday night, check your phone or car camera. That clip could make a real difference.
That one gave me chills. Real talk. The unknown about the signal is tough. Whether the driver or the pedestrian had the red is a big factor, but it doesn't change the core point that leaving the scene is a serious crime. If you know anything, even if you think it's small, call Irvine Police and ask for Detective Hank Gallegos. I keep wondering why someone would flee. Panic, fear. But it's still a choice, and it leaves a family without answers.
Yeah, that checks out. People panic, but coming forward is the right move. Again, folks with dash cams or shop cameras near Alton and Irvine Center, give those a quick scroll tonight.
Okay, let's move on. Headline: Anduril eyes international expansion for weapons manufacturing amidst global tensions. Here's something to get us started. Anduril Industries, a Costa Mesa-based defense technology company, is considering building a weapons manufacturing hub outside the U.S., possibly in Europe. The CEO, Brian Schimpf, shared this at the Founders Forum in the UK, a gathering of tech and business leaders. The goal: diversify production, reduce risk from geopolitical tensions, and keep pace with global demand. Geopolitical, by the way, just means politics between countries. How nations interact and sometimes clash. Anduril's product line includes drones and augmented reality helmets, which are headsets that overlay digital information onto a soldier's view in real time. They also build more advanced systems, including combat aircraft projects. Their biggest client is the U.S. Department of Defense. Even so, they're exploring manufacturing abroad while they build their first U.S. facility in Ohio. The company's valuation doubled in May to about $61 billion, a quick shorthand for investor confidence in its tech and contracts. The company also talked about using non-traditional supply chains. Think of that as sourcing parts and materials outside the usual big defense contractor routes, tapping smaller or newer suppliers to speed things up or avoid bottlenecks. Europe is on the table, in part because of current security needs and occasional strains between U.S. and European priorities. Expanding abroad could mean faster delivery to allies and a hedge against one country's policy shifts. That's where it gets really interesting. A local Orange County company positioning itself as truly global in how and where it builds.
I'm down for that strategic angle. Spreading manufacturing sites can reduce geopolitical risk, meaning if one region faces trade issues or policy changes, production doesn't grind to a halt. It's a little surprising since their biggest customer is the U.S. Department of Defense, but it also makes sense. Allies get gear faster, supply chain hiccups smooth out, and the company isn't stuck if one port or one policy goes sideways. That's a solid point for resilience. Let's switch it up. Headline: Irvine moves closer to adopting ranked choice voting pending voter approval. All right, let's set the stage for this one. The Irvine City Council voted to move forward with putting ranked choice voting on the November ballot. If voters approve it, the system could roll out by 2028. Quick definition: ranked choice voting lets you rank candidates first, second, third, and so on. If no one gets a majority on the first count, the last place candidate is dropped, and their voters' next choices are reallocated. That keeps going until someone crosses 50%. The idea is to reduce the spoiler effect, which is when two similar candidates split votes and a less popular candidate wins. Now, logistics. The city has to work with the Orange County Registrar of Voters. That's the county office that runs elections and counts ballots. There are upfront costs, with estimates topping about $710,000. And then there's the education push, so voters know how to fill out ballots correctly. It's used in some places across 13 states, but the effectiveness claims are still debated. Does it boost engagement? Does it reduce negative campaigning? Depends on who you ask and how the rollout is done. There's also some California context. Previous governors, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Gavin Newsom, opposed expanding ranked choice voting statewide for general law cities, which are cities that follow the state's standard municipal rules rather than their own charters. So Irvine moving this to voters is a notable local step. If it passes, Irvine could be the first in Orange County to do it, which might set a regional precedent and influence how candidates campaign here.
Cautious optimism from me. I like tools that can reduce the spoiler effect and maybe encourage kinder campaigns, but the price tag is real, and voter education has to be top tier. If people don't fully understand the ballot, that undercuts the promise. Why now? Maybe it's the moment for local experimentation. Either way, voters get the final say in November. Switching gears just a little. Headline: Servite's Benjamin Harris dominates OC Boys Track and Field Awards. Let's unpack this. Benjamin Harris, a junior sprinter from Servite High School, was named the All-Orange County Boys Track and Field Athlete of the Year after a monster season. He won the 100 meters at the CIF State Championships in 0.14 seconds. CIF is the California Interscholastic Federation, the governing body for high school sports. He also won the 200 meters at the CIF Southern Section Masters Meet and anchored Servite's 4x100 relay to a state title. Get this, that 4x100 team ran 39.70 seconds, a California high school record, set back in April at the Arcadia Invitational, one of the premier national high school meets. Harris did all this while overcoming an ankle injury from football, which makes the consistency and top-end speed even more impressive. Coach Brandon Thomas, who's known for developing both Servite and Rosary track programs, was named Coach of the Year after guiding the team to a historic performance at state. What stands out is the mindset piece. Harris isn't just fast, he's competitive in a way that shows up in big moments, and Thomas clearly cultivates that: technique, race strategy, and belief, all layered together. That's close to the heart of it for elite sprinting.
That's pretty cool, right? 10:14 in the 100 is flying, and anchoring a record-setting 4x100 after an ankle setback says a lot about his grit. Also, props to that relay chemistry. Clean handoffs at that speed are an art. Nailed it. On to the next thing. Headline: Notre Dame commit Morgan Fitzpatrick steals the show at OC All-Star softball game. Let me paint the picture for you. At Deanna Manning Stadium here in Irvine, Morgan Fitzpatrick, an infielder committed to Notre Dame, made the most of the Orange County softball coach's Senior All-Star Classic. Even though she didn't play her senior season because her transfer from Los Alamitos was denied by the CIF Southern Section due to what's called pre-enrollment contact, basically improper contact before officially transferring. She still earned her spot based on her career, and she delivered. She went 2 for 2 with a double and an RBI, helping the Trinity and Pacific Coast team beat the combined Empire, Freeway, Seaview, Olympic, Orange Coast, and Grove team 6-2. Her coach praised her resilience, and you could see the joy in finally getting back on the field with friends. Despite the transfer ruling, she kept practicing and showing up for games all year, which speaks to leadership. Big note ahead, she's set to play in the PGF High School All-American game on July 25th. PGF is Premier Girls Fast Pitch, one of the highest profile showcases in the sport. That's a strong runway into college ball at Notre Dame.
This one really resonates with me. Determination under tough circumstances is a whole different skill set. Fitzpatrick didn't have a senior season, but still stayed sharp, showed up, and then stepped into an all-star game and produced. That highlights why long-term consistency matters. Real talk, that's a story worth telling for every athlete who hits a roadblock. And that's where we'll leave it for now. I'm Leah. Stay safe out there, look out for each other on the roads, and we'll be back with more from Irvine tomorrow.
And I'm Garrett. Thanks for riding along with us, and tune in tomorrow for more on Laid Back Local, the news of the day, with Leah and Garrett from Irvine.